Well, Marcus, congratulations. You're the head coach of the middle school team here at Heathwood. You've won 3 in a row and are headed to the region championship game next Thursday over at Hammond against the Skyhawks. And talking to you before we've gone on camera here, the biggest thing I get from you is you're so proud of these kids because they've worked so hard. This isn't a fluke. They've earned everything they've gotten. Talk a little bit about that, if you would.
Well, it's definitely exciting, for the kids. This is a new experience for me. I've been blessed to have good people around me to teach me how a program is ran and great coaches around me to help me. But those kids, they work hard, ever since June. They came out for summer workouts every Tuesday and Thursday, and they put in the time, they put in the effort. And we got a lot of great leaders on that team. One in particular, the quarterback and my center, they are the guys that make the team go. They are the engine of the team. And I just couldn't be more proud of the way they fought, these past 3 games. 100% effort.
After being such a successful player and making the transition to trying to teach kids how to play well, what's been the most difficult part of that? Not something you didn't like to do, but what is just the toughest aspect for you in making the move from being a player to a guy that's teaching and coaching the game to other players?
Well, I've been playing since I've been 7 years old, and I've had a lot of different coaches, that believed in a lot of different things. The main thing for me has just been patience, being able to break it down in a way that they can understand it. They don't know what a 3 technique and a 5 technique, just certain football terminology that we just can't use at the middle school level. So I had to learn to be patient with them, and grow with them. Because I admit that I've struggled on this level a little bit, just trying to figure out ways to win. And it's been fun. It's been a fun process for me, drawing up plays with the defense and offense. It's just been amazing. But probably patience is one thing that I've definitely learned over these past 6 games.
Is part of that, and this is something that I would imagine would be very difficult for anyone that was terrifically successful as a player in any sport. Things obviously came way easier to you than 99.9% of football players that are out there playing anywhere from Pop Warner all the way up, right? So things that just were second nature to you are not that way, obviously, to your typical kid or everybody be all SEC, right?
Right.
So was part of your patience, part of that issue within yourself, like having to remind yourself over and over that
Absolutely.
Just because I could do it, just because I knew that, you might see a play where it's so obvious that you cut back against the grain if you're running the ball, but other people don't see that.
Right.
Is that part of the challenge?
I think being able to adapt as a coach to your personnel is crucial, because we don't know exactly what they can do until they get out on the field. You see those plays, you see those different scenarios where he should have did this or he should have did that. It's definitely something that's in the back of my mind, maybe a little frustrating at times, but you just have to learn patience. You have to put them in a position to be successful. I think that's your job. Be able to adapt and put your players in a position to be successful, and just let the chips fall where they may. And try to put the best guys at the position that suits their skill set.
You had a win on Thursday, I guess, or was it Tuesday or Thursday when you beat Heathwood?
Yes, sir.
And I believe that was 14-12, and that was a huge win for, and I'm going to say the program because the football program here includes all levels of football, and I know that Heathwood is trying its hardest to kind of get back to the level that it was several years ago when it was playing for state championships. How big, even though it'd be easy for someone from the outside to dismiss it and say, it's just a middle school team, how big was that win for the program as a whole?
Those kids played their hearts out on Tuesday night. At the end of the game, we had some kids crying. We had parents crying. We had guys, just fell out because they left it all out on the field. And that's a good sign, because it starts with the middle school. It starts with that age, JV, and then they eventually get to varsity, it's good for their confidence. You know, it's a motivating factor to let them know that it can happen. We can beat Hammond. And obviously, it's a big rivalry in the city of Columbia. And it doesn't matter what level it's on. It's fun. All right, we want to win. And, you know, it's a big confidence booster for all the guys on that team.
I'm not going to try to pretend that this is the same, that this will be elicit the same emotions that it would if you were playing Clemson and Williams Brice Stadium in front of 90,000 people, because that would be absurd. However, that being said, do you find, for instance, winning that game that was such a big game and you guys wanted it so bad, are you a little bit surprised maybe compared to how you would have thought that you would enjoy a victory like that coming into this before you experienced it? Are you maybe even more, does it give you more of a charge than you would have maybe thought coming into it?
Absolutely. I mean, this has been, I've been at Heathwood for about 6 months, and I've kind of learned the law of the land when it comes to ski stuff, just a little bit. And I'm figuring it out. You have to be Hammond if you want to be successful in the city of Columbia. It's as simple as that. They're the top, they're the elite when it comes to athletics in the city of Columbia. So having that big win, I was fired up just as much as the kids were. I was jumping around. I was having a good time. And, you know, so was the coaching staff. And that's how it's supposed to be. Football is a fun game, and we want to embrace, you know, every moment, because you never know when it's your last time.
So that was the last regular season game. It was a makeup, and then last night you began the playoffs by winning 24-0 over Ben Lippen. And I know it's even though you're an offense guy, nice to see that shutout on the other side. Do you feel like your kids, for what it's worth, they are literally peaking at the right time as you head into next week's championship game?
Well, I can tell you, I inherited a great defensive line. And, you know, as the old saying goes, offense sells tickets and defense wins championships. I couldn't be more proud of the way our defense has played these past 3 games. From the defensive line to the linebackers to the whole secondary. And we got a great defensive coordinator in Coach Richardson who draws up different blitzes and coverages and just confuses the offense. So I'm excited about next Thursday and excited to see how they're going to play.
All right, man. Best of luck to you next Thursday, and it's a real treat catching up with you. Glad that you've taken to it as well as you had. And I tell you what, we'll come back next week after the game is over, or maybe the week after that, and we'll talk to you then, see how it went.
Hopefully the result is well. Go Hawks.